Some good things, some bad things, but at the end of the day, an L. Texans week 1 highlight reaction here in the locker room.
Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it.
All right, let's get into this. Texans fall to the Ravens 25-9. CJ Stroud's debut, DeMeco Ryans debut, and the Texans take a 25-9 L. We're going to do the highlight reaction every Thursday, some better than others. Usually when you lose by 16, it's going to be a lot of doom and gloom, but in this situation, not as much the case. Not great, some frustrating plays, but we will react to the highlights. This is not a film study. There's plenty of guys to go to film study. This is just you watching the highlights with your buddy who is the number one source for Texans daily digital content, Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central on Sports Radio 610. Texans versus Ravens. Let's go through it and just look at the highs, the lows, and what stuck out in week 1. We'll do this every Thursday in the locker room. Let's start with Baltimore. The early 3rd and 2. This was encouraging because you come into the season and you hear about swarming and they make T-shirts. DeMeco Ryans comes in and immediately right off the top against Baltimore, this gets put to practice. You have Jonathan Grenard coming through, getting the sack. Seems like the defense was pretty disciplined, and right off the top, something to be excited about and some substance to a T-shirt. Not a It All Matters T-shirt created by some POS fraud, snake oil salesman, Jack Easterby, where it's basically just to cover your ass. You said you were going to swarm on defense, and immediately right off the top, you swarmed on defense. And I think Jonathan Grenard and Jerry Hughes being platooned, coming off being your starting ends last year, I think that's going to pay off, and it paid off immediately. There, look at Grenard. Happy for that guy. On offense, you had the 2nd and 5. You had the bat. CJ Stroud and Brett Favre. What do they have in common? Both caught their first reception. 3rd down, just kind of a quick play outside to Dameon Pierce, a stagnant offense, and this was kind of where. I don't want to call it a missed opportunity, but that was just kind of an anticlimactic start for DeMeco. I think some people were a little bit frustrated. Bobby Slowick's actually going to speak today. Some people were frustrated, and again, there's probably a deeper meaning to this. But with the screens to the side, I think we'll see the Noah Brown one. People would like to see it get upfield. Maybe Dalton Schultz be an option. Then we had 4th and 1 after the roughing the passer punt. This one had no chance from the very beginning. Did not love the call. DeMeco Ryans says this is going to be an identity of this team, is being aggressive. I hope there's a balance in that when you don't have a good offensive line, you're not necessarily always going for it on 4th and 1 early. But DeMeco Ryans, I don't know if it's a warning. I don't know if it's just a fact. He says this is going to kind of be a sign of things to come, and then you see the craziness. No harm, no foul, though. As we'll see in a second, Zay Flowers, boy, he looks good as advertised. The Tank Dell Zay Flowers thing, strongly exaggerated because Zay was definitely the superior player. Hell of a play by Steven Nelson here, perhaps the play of the game. Not only do you play the game for the Texans, not only do you make a play and turn the ball over, but you also kind of rewards your coach's aggressiveness and kind of bail him out. No harm, no foul there with Steven Nelson. Remember all the drama in the offseason? Forgotten. They love this guy, Steven Nelson, with the play. 3rd and 13, another sideways pass. Look, I didn't hate this one as much as I could have. Probably not the ideal defense to pick up the 1st down, so you just throw it sideways to Noah Brown, much to the dismay of many people. And many Texans fans. A little bit more pressure. J.K. Dobbins, that was close to the play where he got hurt. This one, Jalen Petrie was late. I know the announcer said they were trying to disguise it, but this one, Jalen Petrie was late. This was a really bad 3-play sequence for Jalen Petrie. Watch him right here. He just gave up the long play. Actually picked up a 15-yard penalty that you can make a case was maybe suspect, but watch him go to IHOP, the Pancake House, International Pancake House on this play. Not a good three-play sequence for Petrie, and not really a memorable game for Petrie, who ended up hurting his lung and staying in Baltimore for the night. But watch this. This ain't good. Boom. Two-piece combo. Pancake, and then Dobbins, only touchdown he'll score this year, unfortunately. Shout out to JK, local guy. Tough break for him and the Ravens. Another 3rd and 5. CJ buying time with his legs. Robert Woods. That was the theme of the day. Robert Woods. CJ looked to Robert on 3rd down. Another 3rd down from CJ. He's looking up. Robert Woods again. I think he converts 3 times with Robert Woods on this. I think we'll also see a pass to Nico, little play action. Boom, Nico. There it is on 2nd. This was where CJ kind of got in a rhythm. -5 yards. I think this was the play that pissed a lot of people off. 3rd and 5, and you're throwing a backwards design screen to Noah Brown. This is the type of stuff. If Bobby Slowick wants people to lose patience with him, this is the recipe for it. 3rd and 5. You got a rhythm going. You've moved the chains on 3rd down. Robert Woods right there down there. You got Dalton Schultz in the slot, who's your $9 million tight end. Nico Collins is having a game, and you're putting Noah Brown in motion and throwing it to him behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, I don't know what this was. This was rough. Never had a chance there. I mean, I don't even blame Noah Brown for that. That was a frustrating play call. And then you got to settle for 3. Are y'all used to Fairbairn with 15 yet? I'm kind of used to it already. Wearing 7 for a decade or however long it was. Now he's got 15. Kind of used to it. Another Baltimore drive. Will Anderson. He could have had more than a sack. That's just Lamar Jackson being Lamar Jackson. Will Anderson gets through. Lamar go through, but the defense, they're going to hold here. 3rd and 9. More pressure. And another good job. Quite frankly, probably lucky there was pressure because Derek Stingley was all over that one. So you get the ball 7-3 before the half. About to get bailed out with a roughing the passer. Another dot down the sidelines on 3rd for CJ. This time it's Tank Dell. 1st and 10. Boom. That one looked like it could have been picked. Fortunately, it wasn't. Good throw, but a good jump by the DB too. Just kind of charged that one to the game. Woods again gets kind of lit up. Texans no timeouts, so you got to go to the line of scrimmage. You got the PI. Good job getting lined up. Spike it. Boom. Field goal. 7-6 at half. With the ball coming your way, and this was really this half was big because it was the first. It was the first look at DeMeco Ryans and Bobby Slowick making halftime adjustments. 15-0 is what Ravens will end up outscoring the Texans by in the 3rd quarter. Bobby Slowick left a lot to be desired. DeMeco, I don't really fault the defense, although he put him in a tough position once again this time, and it didn't get bailed out. So we go to halftime. Nice little short halftime. First drive of the 2nd half. Noah Brown trying to set something up again, and you get blown up. I mean, I did not know Noah Brown was a screen guy, but apparently he was. You try to set up a screen for him, and you get tackled. More Zay Flowers. Kid's going to be pretty decent. 3rd and 5. Lamar. More Zay. Boom. Good job by the receiver. Stick the hands up. Zay Flowers in marching in Texans territory. Bateman time. Bateman season comes in, and then we get inside and touchdown right there. That was kind of where Baltimore sent the statement. And then you went analytic. You got the offsides on the PAT. Baltimore decides, okay, we're going to take the extra point off. We're going to go for 2, 15-6, 2-possession game. And quite frankly, with the way the offense had looked for the Texans, kind of seemed like it was a It was an uphill battle from now. People who had the Texans plus 10 started to sweat here. Raising my hand. 3rd and 16. CJ gets it again. And then this is where it's decision time. What were you saying? Were you saying they should go here? I was saying punt. They decide they're going to go. Again, D'Amico's told us that he's going to be aggressive. They're going to run to the right side. They're not going to run behind Laramie Tunsil. They're not going to try to set stuff up. They were only under center 19% of the time. So you might want to increase that a little bit, because if you're in shotgun 81% of the time, I think that was the number, and then you go under center on third, I just think there's probably an assumption that you're going to run the ball, which they do, and they don't do it successfully. And try to run behind George Fant and Shaq Mason. Shaq Mason on his back, George Fant on his back, Ravens fans on their feet. And that was pretty much church right there. You got Lamar now doing his thing again. Hell of a play by Tavierre Thomas. Actually could have been a game-changing play right there. Lamar kind of running with the ball like a loaf of bread. However, Baltimore falls back on it. You then got – this was not pass interference by Derek Stingley, Odell Beckham Jr. Look at this. They're both battling. I mean, maybe if Stingley's turns around for the rock. I didn't think that was PI, but I understand. Justice Hill, second touchdown. If I'm not mistaken, or he's going to score a second touchdown later. And it's all downhill from here. You have a pretty good idea of where this is going. Noah Brown back out there, Bobby's favorite. CJ across the middle, Nico Collins. Had a really good game. You'll take this from Nico every time. Every time. And CJ did a really good job of making the first guy miss. This was actually – this play, it didn't convert, but where CJ's buying time and giving the receiver a chance in no man's land kind of reminds me of like something Deshaun would do. You force the turnover again, 22-6. Maybe a little bit of hope here heading into the fourth quarter. Another forced turnover for D'Amico. Dalton Schultz, not Dalton Schultz, Tegan Quinturiano. I thought they weren't going to call that face mask at first. They do. They get inside the 10, and then more of the same old sack. Not sure what happened there. Just come on through. Nice little blitz by Baltimore defense. Good ass linebackers there. Another field goal from Fairbairn to make it a 2-possession game. People who had the Texans plus 10, thinking maybe we get a backdoor cover here or something. Little Zay Flowers season screen. He breaks it. Looks kind of like the Texans defense of the last couple of years, although not necessarily, because it probably would have been a touchdown. Another 3rd and 10. Will Anderson. And one, man. Look at that. And one by Will Anderson. Gets tackled and gets the sack. Would have been a good play no matter what, but he puts it in the stat sheet. Let's hear what J.J. Watt had to say about that. He was actually on McAfee. Let's hear what J.J. had to say about Will Anderson and specifically this play.
Yeah, Will is a grown man. I want you to look at this play. He literally carries another grown man to a sack here. This is his first career sack. He's going around the edge. The offensive tackle holds him. Will literally carries him as he bends the corner. Look at the bend. The elite level bend here is incredible. Not many guys are able to do that, let alone do it with a 330-pound guy on your back. Turns the corner, gets the sack on one of the hardest quarterbacks to sack in the entire league. And you can tell he's excited about it. There's many, many more of those.
So is this just what he does, huh? Is he going to have the power game as well, you think?
I do. I think that's probably the part that translates. It takes a little bit longer to translate because, I mean, NFL offensive linemen are just a little bit different, obviously. But I do think he has that power. But when you have that elite ability to turn like that and to have that ankle flexion, that you can't teach that.
You can't teach that. And I think Will Anderson is probably the best player on the field in this game. I think most people would agree. Most stats would point that way. Let's wrap this crap up. Just kidding. do enjoy watching the highlights even after L's. It's kind of a nice little mind refresher. Put a bow on the previous week. 3rd and 9, another pass to Nico. You're starting to wonder, could they make this interesting? This was a must score drive though for the Texans. 1st and 10. CJ, this was really frustrating here. This was probably the most frustrating play of the game. They don't show George Fant getting hurt, but George Fant gets hurt, and then you immediately bring in Dieter. Dieter's a guard center. This is where he should be. Jones, who's played tackle, should be here, but you put Dieter here. Running back not really helping. He's up there, no tight end, and it goes about as expected. And CJ loses the ball for the first time. Can't even really get mad at Dieter. It's kind of weird that he was in that position. I do hope Bobby Slowick gets asked about this today during his media availability. Look at this. Ugh. Nasty. Ugh. Just awful. And that was ball game. Had a chance to make it interesting, but that was ball game right there. As soon as that happened, and that was really stupid. Honestly, that was the one thing. So there's certain things you can debate. The aggressiveness that was stupid. I think that's a Slowick thing. That was dumb. Lamar, Odell starts going crazy. Yes, I'm the best. I just burned Shaq Griffin. Look at me. I'm awesome. Shout out to Odell. And then defense still playing hard, though. Still swarming. Jonathan Grenard, pretty good game for him. And then Big Tuck comes in, got the field goal, get some mop-up duty coming up. Now, backdoor cover's still alive. You needed 8 here if you had the 10. And they were going to go for 2, obviously, to try to make it a one-possession game had they scored. You get inside there, 248, you think, okay, I might get my backdoor cover. No, you might get sacked. 4th and 3. Convert right there, but it meant nothing. Game over. Boom. Take it to the house. Texans fall 25-9 on to Indianapolis. Some good stuff. Best thing from this highlight session, I would probably say CJ getting a little bit more comfortable, and Will Anderson. I think the story was definitely Will Anderson. Really, the defense. If we want to talk about the defense, unfortunately though, offense put him in tough situation on the 4th down conversion, and the offense wasn't able to do their thing. A lot of Noah Brown. He's on IR, though. It'll be interesting to see how they figure that out. This is the highlight rundown. Going to do this every Thursday heading into the game. Today on In the Loop on Sports Radio 610, going to have a player straight off the practice field. Also going to get into this a little bit more as week 2 begins. Appreciate you for coming through no matter what happens with the Texans, whether we're watching good highlights, bad highlights, whatever. When it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in this together. Thanks for coming in the locker room.
And we not too plugged in daily digital on YouTube. We got taste for days, opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up. We number 1. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah, we in.